Welcome to another edition of In the Spotlight. I am Laurel Starks, your host, and I am joined today by Jen Myers, who comes to us out of Portland, Oregon. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you very much.
Jen has got a very impressive background. She has been in the real estate industry for nearly 20 years. Jen graduated from the University of Oregon, go Ducks, in 2004, and she got into real estate right after that. And then she got licensed in 2006.
Mhm.
Jen is a CDRE advisor, which means that she is one of our CDREs who advises and mentors new realtors who are coming through our program hoping to earn their CDRE. She also is a member of the Alumni Speakers Bureau. So that means that she is certified to provide continuing legal education to family law attorneys throughout the country, and she often and frequently speaks to family law and judicial groups. In addition to that, Jen is a an accredited buyer's representative. She is very much a fan of education and always bettering herself. I can tell you that from working with her for several years here within the CDRE program. Jen is also a member of the Multnomah County Bar Association. She was just, as of last week, trained in collaborative divorce and is a new member of the Oregon Association of Collaborative Professionals. So, thank you, Jen, for being here and sharing all that you do with our community. So let's get right into it. Jen, tell
Great.
me a little bit about what your business was like. Tell your business structure, lead gen sources. What was your business like before you got into the divorce space?
Yeah, so I ran a really traditional business. We focused a lot on working with our past clients and referral base. We did a lot of geo farming, and I also specialized in working with listings that expired off the market. So that was a particular niche that we felt like we could help people in. And, you know, we also did a lot of, what traditional real estate agents were working, which was like lots of video, local coffee shops, that kind of thing. So we had a lot of branches out in a lot of different areas.
And then at some point, you decided you wanted to expand your business and get into the divorce space. What spurred on that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different things that spurred that on. And I think a lot of it had to do with we were wanting to get a little more focused in ways that we could help people. So my own business partner and best friend who works with me was going through her own divorce. And during that process, she was working with a family law attorney, and there were some things happening with her own real estate. And the family law attorney just kept referring her to me, saying, talk to your real estate friend, talk to your real estate friend. And through that process, I started to realize there was a little bit of this gap on, the family law attorney was focusing on, child custody and focusing on other things that were happening in her case, and she wanted someone else to take on the real estate portion of it. So when my friend's divorce was completed, I said, there's got to be some way that we can work with some of these attorneys on these cases because I can see where there could be a benefit and some crossover in that.
So you saw firsthand the gap. And
Yeah.
I want to highlight that for a second because that sometimes is the sometimes until you see the gap, it is hard to realize that there is such a gap
Mhm.
because unless you're in this space, I think there is a an assumption that lawyers must know everything and that they have got a handle on the real estate side of their case and that that's all completely covered and they know
Mhm.
exactly what to do and how to advise their clients and they've surely got systems and whatnot in place. Then once you it's hard to believe sometimes, isn't it, Jen,
Yeah.
that there is such a gap until you get inside and you see it.
I had no idea. I thought exactly what you just said, that the family law attorney probably understands the facet of every single aspect of what is going on in this case. And we were, helping this person in our own way. And the fact that the attorney was relying on me to coach her through the real estate aspect of it really just kind of opened my eyes to they have their own plate full of things that they're focusing on. They are relying on their own experts to, or these other experts to help with these other pieces of this divorce case. So it was pretty eye-opening.
So you recognize that, you saw it, and then what?
So I recognized that and saw that, and then I realized that what I wanted for my business was to start showing up in a different way. We didn't want to just do videos all the time and focus so much on media. We wanted to take a more professional, like just look at how we were operating. And so I went on to a master's in real estate page and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for a way to start working and connecting with attorneys. Does anyone have any certifications or know of any programs that specialize in divorce?" And I got a bunch of different recommendations. Some were like these 2-day courses that people would take that would, give them this generic certification, but that didn't seem like enough based on the experience I had with the attorney that I had worked with to really offer enough robust education to be able to kind of work with them. And so the Alumni Institute popped up. Someone said, "You really need to check out the Alumni Institute." And so I started looking into it and talked to some people who in my area had been certified through it. And it was really impressive. Just the requirements to get into the program alone made it stand out.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and and so then you went through the training. You went through the training in 2023,
I did.
correct? Yeah.
Yep.
So 2023,
Mhm.
you earned your CDRE, and then fast forward, we're in 2020. You're in your third year of being a
Mhm.
CDRE.
Yeah.
What's your business look like now?
Our business now is, I would say, about half of our transactions that we're working right now are divorce.
Wow.
And that's really taken a big uptick in the last 9 months. And so that's been really great because we actually feel like with that shift, we've been able to start helping people in a way that we've been talking about and wanting to in our
Mhm.
business over the last few years. So we're really grateful for that shift.
So it has taken, going into you really started to see, if you said 9 months, you really started to see, in year two, things were starting to really pick up.
Yeah.
And then in year three, probably a lot of what happened in year two is starting to come to fruition, starting to close, that sort of thing. So you start to see the results of the production.
Mhm.
And Jen, you are very engaged in the community. You execute what we teach and mentor, so to speak, our CDREs, and so you've done that. Um, what advice would you give to realtors who decide, like you, that they want to get into this divorce niche, and they want to make a go of that? What would you say to someone who's thinking about getting into the niche?
Yeah. So I have this conversation with agents quite a bit because I feel like the general public asks you all the time, how's the real estate market? And other real estate agents ask you all the time, how's your real estate business? Like, what are you doing?
Mm,
And so when I say that I specialize in divorce, there's a lot of questions around that. And I would tell people a couple different things. You really need to do your research in programs to make sure that it's going to be a good fit for you. And it is not a turn and burn transaction type niche. Like it is really it's challenging. You need to be prepared to handle, how emotionally charged it is. I think sometimes people think it's just going to be an easy buck, like they're just going to get a bunch of transactions and work them. And it takes patience, it takes education. And so just making sure that you're committed to continuing education and working with the community, especially the community through alumni, is really important because real estate's always changing and divorce is challenging. So
Mhm.
it's not turn and burn. It's not like, ooh, I'm just going to get this designation and magically have these listings. It takes a lot of grit and it takes a lot of commitment and it takes a lot of patience.
What would you say your biggest challenge is right now in your divorce business overall?
Oh, that's a really good question. Um, I think I will actually say our biggest challenge right now in the divorce portion of our business is some of our court orders don't give us enough don't give us good enough boundaries to be able to work with some of these clients to get them to the end. So I would
Mm.
actually say probably how some of the court orders are written has been a little bit more challenging.
So let me ask you on that note, in working, in as many cases as you do and in being around for now as long as you have and seeing experiences, what advice would you give to family law attorneys? What are some things that they could equip their tool belt with?
I think the number one thing I would tell family law attorneys is it takes longer to get a house on the market than you think that it does.
Mm,
I recently got a court order that was emailed to me. An attorney had been in contact with me for about 2 weeks saying, we have this case coming up. We're naming you to sell the house. Just be prepared. We would like it on the market right away. And
mhm.
I said, okay. And I emailed them back and said, hey, can I get into the house to take a look at it? If it's going to be a really fast turnaround, I really need to get my team in sooner than later to at least prep. And I didn't hear anything for about 2 weeks. I get the court order emailed to me on a Tuesday, and they want it listed the next day. And so I was like, don't think that that's going to be possible. So it does take some time to, get your team in and do photography and make sure the house looks good. So that's one. And then I think also for them to understand, you know, if their client's not listed on title, we're bound by certain fiduciary responsibilities. And so working with us ahead of time, if their client's in that situation, is really, really important. So, pulling us in sooner in their cases can really benefit their clients and just benefit the experience overall for helping us get the house sold.
That is some good, solid advice. What advice would you give to someone who is going through a divorce or about to go through a divorce, and who owns a home?
You can ask your attorney to work with a certified divorce real estate expert to help you figure out your options. Because whether you're trying to explore refinancing the house or what you're going to need to do in order to sell, you can ask your attorney to work with specific divorce certified experts to help you understand your options and make decisions throughout your case.
That's awesome. What would you say are the benefits to, I mean, why should a divorcing homeowner work with a CDRE as opposed to, maybe the last realtor that they used or maybe a friend?
Well, we're trained as a neutral third party, and which means that, we're not taking someone's side. Our job is to work with each party and I like to say, get everybody to the finish line. Like we're gonna be, helping give you the roadmap that's gonna get the house sold. But also we have a system to help mitigate conflict and keep everybody on track. This last year, I was working with some home buyers that were purchasing a home. And the real estate agent actually called me and told me my clients are going through a divorce. It's a divorce situation. So your clients just need to be aware of that because it might take longer to get a response. And I couldn't believe that
Mm,
she told me that that breaks fiduciary to her client. But also, she wasn't, because she didn't have a system in place to help keep him moving along or a game plan for his personal property or when he was moving. He did not vacate the house by the time closing happened. So everybody was scrambling at the end to try to get his stuff out and make sure that he got out because he didn't have the right guidance to have all of that stuff taken care of ahead of time and there was no plan for him. So just knowing that working with someone who is an expert in this roadmap to get everybody to the end is really, really important.
Wow, that is great advice. And I always said that there needs to be a support group for buyers of divorce listings.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Bad idea. Right. It might be on Meetup soon. But yeah, it
Shake
is.
my head sometimes like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, well, that is excellent, Jen. Well, you gave some very sound advice, and I'm thrilled to see your business grow. I'm even more thrilled to see you bring your expertise to your community because it impacts your community, it impacts the families, it impacts the kids, it impacts your legal community, your courts by bringing efficiency, by bringing expertise to these cases. Your work has got quite a ripple effect that goes far and wide. So thank you for bringing that, and certainly for bringing your mentorship to our community. So it's
Absolutely.
been great chatting with you, and
Thank
thanks for being
you.
my guest here at In the Spotlight. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.